Welcome to the Boomers, Bucks, and Bling podcast, where we turn retirement planning into a bit of a thrill ride. I'm your host, Carl Spiteri, and each week we'll dive into everything from reverse mortgages and staying put in style to Medicare, Social Security, and home safety. But wait, there's more. We're not just going to talk all about money and business. We're going to add some sparkle, some bling, as we chat with travel pros, party planners, and a lot of different topics that's going to help you make the most of your golden years. So grab a cup of tea or whatever it is you want to drink, get comfy, and let's make retirement planning an adventure of a lifetime. Welcome to this edition of Boomers, Bucks, and Bling. Today we're very privileged to have Abbie Richie on with us, and she's going to talk about technology. Technology is something that, like it or not, we're dealing with it, right? So as we get older, sometimes it becomes a little more challenging. And Abbie's going to kind of give us some helpful tips and suggestions and different things that might be able to help us in our everyday lives. So welcome to the show. And why don't you start off by just telling us a little bit about yourself and that kind of thing.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. I love talking about this topic. I love helping older adults with their technology. And I am happen to be a fourth generation entrepreneur. And so everyone in my family starts companies, finds an unmet need, and then works towards that. And I was unemployed about 8 years ago. My previous company had dissolved, and I was looking for the next opportunity. And what I found in this situation, my in-laws at the time were downsizing, and they needed help with their technology. And I've always been kind of techie. I'm more an educator than I am an IT person. I never call myself an IT person. I'm an educator. And they needed help setting up their Wi-Fi. They needed help with their phones and their cable, everything that we deal with every single day. And a lot of it is not unique to one person. It's really more of a knowledge base that some people have and are able to teach through. So I started helping my in-laws with their technology. I found I really liked it. And then I started helping their neighbors and then their neighbors. And I found myself, like, in a span of about 3 or 4 months, spending a significant amount of time with older adults and just explaining, like, this is your Wi-Fi. This is how you get on your Wi-Fi, and talking about Bluetooth and talking about cell phone plans. And then I thought, you know what? Want to see if there's a larger need for this. I'm enjoying it. I can only do something I'm totally passionate about.
Mm-hmm.
And so I called some of the senior living communities in my area. I live in Scottsdale, Arizona. I never really thought much about the retirement communities here. I knew they were here, but it wasn't
Yeah,
really
a
on
lot
my
of them, right?
radar. A lot. That's right. I called five within a 5 mile radius of where I lived, and I offered a free workshop and seriously, Carl, I made this up on the spot. Cell phone secrets for seniors. That was it. I was like, who who wouldn't want to know what the cell phone secrets are? So I offer a free workshop. By the end of the week, I'm booked. And so I start going into these senior living communities, teaching these workshops, creating new workshops, and then I started getting private one-on-ones with the residents and just started to build out a business based on that. And there is a big unmet need because older adults are more traditional learners. And I found that the opportunities today, whether it's at the Apple Store or it's YouTube or it's even a grandchild, these opportunities are not exactly educationally catered to an older learner. They're just
Yeah,
not.
yeah, they're not. No.
And I started doing a lot of study on this older adult who is a traditional learner. They're someone who wants notes, they want a handout, they want repetition, they want to know from the very beginning the foundation of why we do this. They're engaged, they're curious,
Mm-hmm.
and I always consider them scholars. Yet there are a lot of people in the media would say, like, they're dinosaurs, but they're not. They just
No.
need to be taught in a way that makes sense to them. And we're missing the boat here in
Yeah.
so many ways. And it just became like this mission of mine to help an older adult feel empowered and confident to use their technology their way, not the way their son or their daughter's using it, obviously not the way their grandchild is using it, but their way. It's truly, to me, it's like it's a piece of dignity that has been missing in this technology piece.
Yeah, it's funny because as our audience knows, I specialize in reverse mortgages. I do quite a bit of that business, and a mortgage is a mortgage, whether it's forward, reverse, sideways, it doesn't matter. It still requires some significant amount of paperwork, and the biggest challenge in my industry is everything's online, everything's emailed, uploaded. My clients have a challenge with that. I can't tell you how many times I've driven to somebody's home to pick up their little folder, things I used to do in the 1990s, right? And come and make copies and get it back to them. But the technology, as we take it for granted because we use it all the time. I'm a boomer, but I think I understand technology a little bit better than maybe the average boomer, just because I'm in that industry. I use it all the time. And so it's really we discovered you and what you do and how you speak to people. It was like, I got to have you on as a guest. It was really exciting. I remember a quick story when years ago I was driving my mom around to a doctor's appointments, whatever it was, and they had the radio on and we were just kind of listening to some music and some commercial came on and they were talking. It was when the internet just kind of was being discovered, and they talked about go to www dot whatever, and she goes, what is www?
Yeah.
And for the life of me, I knew what it was, but how do I explain it to where she could understand it? And this is something that you're doing, and I think it's wonderful. So
Thank you.
I want to throw that in. How do you teach? So you're a teacher at heart. You have free workshops in Arizona, but maybe not in San Diego or San Francisco or Nebraska.
It's funny that you say that because up until 2020, I was teaching in person locally around Phoenix. Okay. And I started hiring other people to teach these workshops. And then, as we all know what happened, we lost all in-person access to teaching. And it was an opportunity for me to figure out how else can I deliver this type of service. And so I started teaching online. And it's funny because one community that we have here in Arizona, they are very tech forward, and they had been taking and doing all of their community-wide meetings on Zoom for years and years and years. And they kept encouraging me, like, can you just teach this on Zoom? And I was like, well, Zoom is so complicated. And imagine trying to get to, 20, 30, 80-year-olds on Zoom at one time to teach a class. And a lot of it had to do with my own objections too. Like, I was like, no, I don't want to do, no, like, it's hard. I have to learn that. Seriously, a lot of it. But they kept asking me, and finally I leaned into it. And so I started teaching workshops on Zoom. And what happened was, because there was like such a demand for education and content and activities, we started offering these workshops nationwide, and they started getting picked up at other senior living communities. People are paying for them. It's a paid for service now. And so we continue to provide this type of opportunity. Like, it was a huge silver lining. Some people want it in person, some of them want it on Zoom, but it is an option either way.
Cool. So give us a tip. How about cell phone? I mean, everybody, I think, has a cell phone at this point. Some useful, helpful hints on using one of these stupid things that we all have, right? That used to be called telephones. Why they're called telephones still, I don't know, because we use them for everything but speaking, it seems like.
Smartphone, that's what it is. And the reason it's called smart is because it has access to the internet. If it didn't have access to the internet, we'd call it a dumb phone. Yes. Yeah. And actually, there are some people that really want dumb phones. They don't want all that access. And so there are options and alternatives for anyone. And so just because, say, everyone is using, a smartphone doesn't mean you need to have one. If you like your clamshell phone, and like, seriously, some people do, they just like that flip, the flip phone clamshell design and just tuck it in your pocket, none of those bells and whistles. I say just go with it, right? Especially for an older adult, like go with what you know. So if you know how to use an Apple device, stick with Apple. Right now is not a time to learn a whole new operating system. And so you really want to go with what you know and sort of like get in the easiest way possible.
Mhm.
After that, what I recommend doing is truly personalizing your device for your use. Now, our devices come pre-installed with like 50, 60 apps on them, right?
Right,
And
right.
an app is an abbreviation for application. So it's like a mobile application and it's made like more compact to go on your phone as opposed to on your computer. So our devices come pre-bundled with all of these applications. I'd say out of all of them, like you may just use about five, maybe 10 regularly. So what I like to encourage people to do is like get them all off your home screen. Just put the ones you're using on your home screen. You can put the other ones on another page, no problem, but just the ones that you are actively using on a day-to-day basis need to be on your home screen. And
And the
then
home screen is the page that when you turn your phone on or you hit your button, that's the first page that comes up. That's the home screen.
that's it. Yep. And so, make sure that your applications are easy to get to. I always like to get my camera up on the top line. This way my brain knows my camera is up there. It's on the top row. I always
Mhm.
like to put the ones that I use frequently down here in the dock. And this is totally personalized for you. Just because maybe it came with music down there doesn't mean you need to keep it there. You move music where you want it to be. For me, I want my phone, my messages, my calendar, and what else is there? Yeah, text messages. So that's what I keep down here. It's easy for me to remember it. And the other ones I'm not using so much, I'll put them on the second page or a third page. So really move it all around so it makes sense to your brain. What I would say you don't want to do is you don't want to hand your phone to your grandchild and let them move it around for you. It's really important for you to edit your home screen and know your camera is always top left. Your web browser is always top right, for instance. Your gym app is bottom left, just so that you know where it is and you can access it easily.
So to move an app around, to
Yeah. Yeah, you do what's called a long press. You hold your finger on it, and then they'll all start to do the hula and jiggle and whatnot. And so what you're going to do is you're going to look for it to say edit the home screen. And then you're going to just move it with your finger to where you want it to go.
okay,
Okay.
simple enough.
Simple
Sounds
enough.
simple.
Couple of other things I always recommend. So if I'm
Okay.
working with you one-on-one, I'm going to look at your phone and say, let's change this just a little bit so it suits your purposes. One thing really simple is our wallpaper. Now I know on mine, like I just like to have a basic color in the background. What I've noticed, some people have a whole family picture or maybe a landscape of a lake, and sometimes the picture will compete with the apps, with the app icons. And so just make it easy for you to see it. You can put a different picture on your lock screen. That's what happens when you just tap your phone and it turns on. You can put whatever you want there. But then on your home screen, like let's make it easy to see. Let's not have anything else that's competing with you locating those apps.
It's not like if your grandkids' pictures aren't on that screen, you're going to forget what they look like, right?
That's right. That's right. Let's just make it super simple for you to locate them. After that, I love going into the settings and making a couple small adjustments. And Apple's been awesome about this over the years. They've made this a lot easier. If you go into your settings and then you go to display and brightness, there are many things in this area that you can do that are going to make a huge difference. One of them is to amp up your text size. Now, I want you to be able to see what's on your phone without hunting for your glasses. Okay. And you can really
That
crank
becomes
that.
a real challenge.
It really
At
does.
least
Yeah.
for me, lately, it has become a real challenge. Yes.
So you can adjust that. And if you need it to go even bigger, I can help you make it even bigger. This is in, and we do that in accessibility. So make sure it's at a size that's comfortable for you. This is your phone. Okay. Backing up from there, there are some people and that are going
Can
to
you hold it a
like,
little higher?
yeah,
There we go.
yeah, sure thing. So also I want to point out there's a light mode and a dark mode. Now, a lot of times when we're using our phones, and it usually comes in this light mode, that uses up a lot of battery, by the way. So if you're struggling with your battery, this might be one way that you can gain a little bit of extra time back. Okay. And if you want to go into the dark mode, this is actually easier on our eyes. So over the course of one day, looking at your device in the light mode, it puts a lot of strain. And a lot of people have visual fatigue. And if that's something you're struggling with, let's get you into the dark mode so that you don't have that same level of visual fatigue at the end of the day. All right. Simple switch, go back and
So
forth like that.
visual fatigue.
Mhm.
Describe that. What do you physically get tired, or is it just like your mind gets kind of tired?
Yeah, your eyes get tired
Okay.
because they're staring at a bright light throughout the entire day. Like you've got all of this light coming off of your device and it's straining your eyes and
Okay.
it wears on you at the end of the day.
Okay.
Okay. Moving
Sorry.
right along, another thing I love to do is I like to turn on the bold. And now this is just it's a simple thing, but it makes a big difference. So here is the way it comes. But if you turn on bold, all of the headers
Easy
throughout
to read.
the entire device are just easier to read. That is
Yeah,
correct.
I could tell. I could tell that just by watching it on the screen.
Yeah, right. Like they just get small and then they get bigger. They
Hmm.
just get bolder. And then I want to show you one other thing, a couple other things here. I have always heard this time and time again, like I'm looking at my phone and it just turns off. I don't know why it just turns off. And this happens a lot, especially with an older adult who might still be processing what your next step is supposed to be.
Hmm.
And what that means is that your auto lock might be set to something like 30 seconds. And then it's just going to go black, go to sleep on you. So you want to make sure that your auto lock is at a place that's comfortable for you. That might be 5 minutes. It might be never. Okay.
Yeah.
So, there are there's some of them are
Even though
preset.
never is not a good security option.
You know what? It really depends on who is using the phone, right?
Okay.
Really depends. One other thing that's way down here at the very bottom, and that is the display. Okay, the default display zoom, we've got larger and we have the default. So if you want everything to be supersized, let's get a little bit bigger, a little easier to see, you're going to want to go to the larger text option there, and then you're going to tap that, and everything it restarts real quickly and then it goes back on. Is going to be just a little bit bigger. My phone will go back on, and here we go. So I just want you to see, like, all the apps are a little bigger, they're a little more defined. I totally recommend that for an older adult.
Or even somebody that's just a little bit farsighted or becoming a little bit farsighted, huh?
Yes. Yep.
And that you get to there from where?
That is at the very bottom of display and brightness. It's all the way
No, no.
down
As far
here
as
at the very bottom.
getting into that whole section is in
Yes, that's
general
in,
or
you go settings,
uh-huh.
and then it's just right here at display and brightness.
Okay, perfect.
Okay. Okay. So that's my recommendation there. This is all just for the visual outlook. It's got to fit you. If you were going to move into a new home, you would be rearranging the furniture so that it suited your needs. You wouldn't just, keep it wherever it is. Like if you prefer your bed to be near the window, you're going to move it there near the window, right? So
Yeah. Right.
customize your device so it suits your needs.
Okay. What about let's switch gears so we're not an Apple commercial here. Um,
Okay.
let's talk about internet and Wi-Fi and that kind of stuff, which seems to be a challenge, right? I mean, even with cable TV kind of going away and everything being streaming, Wi-Fi becomes even more and more important. Tell us a little bit about some challenges there or some hints there.
Yeah, I like to share Wi-Fi in terms of it's one of these things you really need to know how to get yourself on and off the Wi-Fi because it's most often one of the easiest tech support tips right there. Well, did you is the Wi-Fi on, right? And
Right.
so Wi-Fi is a wireless connection to the internet. So many of our devices are completely wireless these days. We'd like you to be able to know the Wi-Fi, to be able to turn it on and off if needed. And sometimes that just fixes the connection. So it's really important to know how to put yourself on and off the Wi-Fi. I can definitely show you how to do that sometime. The other thing too is understanding Bluetooth. Bluetooth is also a wireless connection, but it's for a smaller device, less energy, close. It's close in to the device, but it's a smaller device. And a lot of times that helps with pairing of hearing aids and AirPods, that kind of thing. And even our Alexa devices, all that, like, and our Ring cameras, like they all get connected via Bluetooth.
Okay. All right. Um, what else you got?
Yeah, some other things I love to teach and encourage people to do is to start using the digital assistant that comes with your device and your devices. So whether this is your remote control, which I absolutely love, having a microphone, being able to speak into your remote control, or whether you're using an Alexa or you're using Siri in your phone, I really love to teach and encourage people to start using it today because it's something that's going to serve you in the years to come after your eyesight diminishes and you lose the dexterity in your hands. You still will be able to speak what you need help with. And so,
Because that,
yeah,
go
you
ahead.
found that too?
Sorry. I know I was going to say it's exactly what I tell people with reverse mortgages.
Uh-huh.
Get one before you need it, because
Mm,
once you need it, it becomes you're saying it's harder to learn. I'm saying it's harder to move. It's harder to fill out paperwork. It's harder to gather
yeah.
but kind of part of I think getting older is preparing for getting older, and people don't
Mhm.
really put much thought into it. So I didn't interrupt you, but I thought that was a good.
Yeah, that is a really good point. So yes, start using it today. I you know, funny thing was like when Siri first came out, like I absolutely disliked it, and I think the reason being is because my kids were little and they loved to speak into it and
Yeah.
mess it up all the time. Like I would
Mhm.
ask, and then they'd chime in, and then we wouldn't get anything accomplished, right? And so
Right.
I actually turned it off for years and years, and then I turned it back on and in the car I have right now, I have to use it in order to do anything.
Hmm.
And so I've gotten really, really adept at using it for all sorts of commands. And I love it because it helps me to be hands-free and to continue to use the skill of asking for things. So I really like to encourage people to do that. Start small, ask for basic things. What's the weather? What was the score last night? And sometimes you just have to kind of think, how does Siri or how does Alexa figure out what I'm looking for or what I need? And sometimes it's just a keyword like navigate that automatically tells the digital assistant that you want a map and you want directions. Or you'll say something like, do a Google search. And it automatically tells the digital assistant that you want a Google search started for you or set a calendar. And it's like, boom. So when you get into the mindset of speaking about the app that you want to use, then that tells the digital assistant what it is you're looking for.
I know it's always when you go to like the dentist or the doctor and they said you want a little card for your next appointment. It's like I'm not gonna. know where this card is 2 months
Yeah.
from now.
Yeah.
But you just go, Siri, schedule an appointment the 22nd of August at 2 o'clock with the doctor, and it's done. At least, even if you don't remember saying it, it's going to remind you before the doctor's appointment. So yeah, that's a real good tip, actually.
Yeah, here's another one that a lot of people don't realize they have complete control over, and this is the notifications that pop up on your phone. People will often talk about them as pop-ups, these annoying pop-ups. Well, actually, you have complete control over that. And like we spoke about earlier, our devices probably come with 50-ish, number of apps. All of these applications are designed to notify you of anything new that's happened in them. But you have the opportunity to go into your notifications in your settings and toggle off receiving notifications for apps you really don't need to be notified by. Now, this is a personal thing. Like, I can't go through and decide for you. I'd have to ask you app by app, do you need to? But for the most part, there's probably only like maybe 10 out of all those 50 that you need to receive a pop-up, which is like a banner that comes across your phone
Right.
for something. It could be Uber. You want to know if Uber is outside, for sure. You want notifications for Uber. You want notifications for your bank, for if you got a phone call, missed a phone call, or you have a voicemail. You want those. But there's so many that you absolutely do not need to have, including every single news story that's new.
Yeah.
It's so
I always tell
distracting.
people, turn off the news. Just turn it off.
It's just so distracting. Or maybe, you've got friends that you're playing Scrabble with, and like you get that. And you know what it does? It takes a person from being in the moment and actually really just enjoying your life in the present to getting distracted for these, mindless things that
Yeah.
take joy away from being present in life.
Yep. Yep. Well, I know we can keep you on here for another hour and a half, but we tried to limit these to about 20 minutes or so. Why don't you tell our audience how to get a hold of you?
Sure.
Be real specific as far as phone numbers, emails, however that you want them to reach out to you, because you could solve a lot of problems. I will be referring you to people
Thank you.
as well. So go ahead.
Thank you. Yes. So the company is called The Smarter Service. It's one word, thesmarterservice.com. And all of our information is there, how you can get help, who you can talk to. So I would just recommend you go to The Smarter Service on the internet and reach out to us that way. We are a nationwide company. We have tech concierge support in pretty much every state, and we also offer it virtually.
Abbie, thank you so much for your time today. We truly appreciate it. And I can't thank you enough. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.